The 2025 Spanish Motorcycle Grand Prix is done and dusted, and wow, just an unexpected result, to be honest. Like, again, Marc Marquez crashing out while fighting for a win. He crashes out at the corner, at the exact corner where he's been the strongest throughout the whole weekend. And it's just unbelievable how he crashed there like so easily, like losing the front. Like there wasn't even any warning before he crashed out of I think it was third place. But well, then again, we have as per tradition 5 topics to talk about, and let's just get into it then. Alex Marquez and Circuito de Jerez. It's just a perfect combination. Alex Marquez, there is just something between Alex and Jerez. It's just such a good combination between these two. I mean, Alex, like 13 years ago, back in 2012, when he was just like a 16-year-old boy, he made his debut here. A debut in the Grand Prix Circus, age 16, riding a Moto3 bike, a Honda Moto3 bike. I think it was like a different chassis, but the engine was a Honda Estrella Galicia 0.0, and he finished in 12th, a respective 12th place, being a debutant in the category. And let's not forget that he clinched his first ever Moto2 win at Jerez as well, all the way back in 2017 when he was a teammate with Franco Morbidelli. Frankie, of course, went on to become the world champion that season, but that was Alex's breakthrough season. 2017 was Alex's breakthrough season in the Moto2 category. He was undergoing his 3rd season in the class. He was already aged like 21 back in 2017. And only then, at Jerez, he clinched his first Moto2 win. Well, it's not really like there was a lot of talking in the background when he clinched that win, because Frankie was actually leading the race, but he crashed out, and Alex automatically inheriting the lead back then, and he just sailed off to win. He didn't budge. He never looked back. But so people kind of saying that yeah, it's just lucky that Frankie crashed out. But again, Alex in the end in 2019 being a world champion really debunked all of those arguments. And then, of course, he made his debut in MotoGP in the Premier class at Jerez as well. Well, it was a COVID season in 2020, but the first round happened to be at Jerez, the Spanish Grand Prix, followed by the Andalusia Grand Prix the very next week. And now, his first MotoGP win. He is undergoing his 6th season now in the Premier class, and only now in his 6th season that he managed to win a race. Well, actually, back in 2023, he won 2 sprints at Silverstone and at Sepang in 2023. But again, sprints are rubbish, so I'm not really talking about sprints right now. But again, yeah, Jerez, it's just something special between Alex and this circuit. And in the process of of clinching his first MotoGP win, the Marquez Bros has rewritten the history of MotoGP by becoming the first ever brothers to be able to win a MotoGP race. Nobuatsu Aoki, Takuma Aoki, Haruchika Aoki, none of these 3 Aoki brothers managed to win even a single race in the Premier class. Also the Roberts brothers, Curtis and Kenny Jr. of course. Kenny being the world champion in 2000, throughout his whole Premier class career, he managed to win like 8 races, 4 in 99 and 4 in 2000. But Curtis, on the other hand, he never really rode a proper bike, let's just say, in the Premier class. He was riding like the Proton KR, it's like Kenny Roberts Sr.'s team. But the project never really proved fruitful for them. And also the Espargaro Bros. Aleix managed to win like in total 3 races. Yeah, 1 in 2022 and then 2 in 2023. But Paul, being the 2013 Moto2 world champion, failed to win even a single race in MotoGP. So yeah, the Marquez Bros, they being the first brothers to be able to win races, or at least 1 race in the MotoGP category. Just as its World SBK counterpart, Yamaha is having a concession in MotoGP as well. Well, in World Superbike it was called the Super Concession, the Super Concession chassis. In MotoGP it is more than a chassis. It's like a no engine freeze, like more test time, more tire for the testing, and blah blah blah. There's its own table if you want to look at it like in more detail. The Yamaha's concession advantage, it finally bears some fruit. But still, Fabio Quartararo, he's still the differentiating factor, the distinguishing factor. The other three Yamaha riders, they are nowhere near Fabio's pace throughout the whole weekend. Of course, we do know that the other Yamaha, the Pramac Yamaha, Miguel cannot race because he was having like an horrible injury. And he was replaced by Augusto Fernandez, Yamaha's test rider. And we do know that Augusto hasn't really gelled in with the bike, with the M1. So we can't really expect anything from him. But both Alex-Rins and Jack Miller, being multiple Grand Prix winners, they failed to extract the full potential of the M1 with the concession. Fabio, he did just that. Pole position. He crashed yesterday in the sprints, but he was running in a podium position. I know it was just second lap, but again, we can't really know. It might be still a top 4 pace at the very least. Just when I saw his pace in the sprints. But again, Jack and Rins failed to extract the full potential. Jack, having started in P14 and then climbed all the way back to P8, and then having some electronical issues, ended up retiring from the race. While Rins, only a P13 for him. P13, it's just so far from Fabio. Fabio standing up on the podium at Jerez, and Rins being the home hero, only a P13 for him. I don't know what more excuse will Rins use for his performance this time. I skipped a lot of beat when the two factory Ducati Lenovo team having a contact. I think it was on the second lap. Yeah, I think it's on the second lap. It's just finally, this is the battle that we've been craving to see since the beginning of the season. The two red boys clashing on track. The battle of the decade, let's say, like in the 2020s decade. This will be the one, because previously, like 4 years ago at Aragon, 2021 Aragon Grand Prix, we saw already like a glimpse of what could be the potential of these two if they are teammates. Marc versus Pecco, Aragon Grand Prix 2021. It was just breathtaking overtakes. Like Marc's attempt, 7 different attempts, all ended up in failure. But of course, a lot of people say that it was the difference between the bike back then. But come on, let's face it, 2021 Honda, they were not that bad. They were not as bad as 2023 back in 2021. That bike was still at the very least a top 3 bike, top 5, top 3 bike. And Marc managed to extract its full potential, fighting with Pecco for the win at Aragon 4 years ago. When they're finally teammate, we expect already that kind of battle since the beginning of the season. And finally, only finally, here at the 5th Grand Prix of the season, we saw that, but only for 1 lap. Fuck! Only for 1 lap that Pecco was being so aggressive. He got overtaken by Marc, and then he retaliated. And then coming out of the Schwanz corner, wait, was it the Schwanz corner or the? And they made a contact. It was just mind-blowing, but why only a single lap, Pecco? Why? This is the Pecco that we wanted to see from the beginning of the season, the all-aggressive Pecco. But yeah, he failed to clinch his 4th win in a row at Jerez. In the last commentary video of the Qatar Grand Prix, I was having like such a high expectation that Pecco will surely make it a 4th in a row at Jerez, but it was just never meant to be for him. Marc Marquez being a crash-prone rider isn't actually something new. If you've been watching MotoGP since 2013, I happen to be watching MotoGP since 2013, like actively, regularly, never missing a single race since 2013. And that happened to be the year where Marc debuted. We already know that Marc is a crash-prone rider. He almost always topped the crash list by the end of the season. I think it was always a top 3 or a top 5 for Marc. It was never like let's say a Valentino or a Jorge Lorenzo type of season where they crash really rarely. No, Marc isn't that kind of rider. That just proved that it's not like a silly mistake. Most of them are not silly mistakes. Like, it's just him trying to extract every bit of potential that the bike has, and he ended up crashing. But this time, like, no warning whatsoever, no warning from the bike. It's not like wiggling, it's not like having some turbulence from the aero things and all that jazz. It's just a very classic front end wash from Marc. At the very corner there where has been the strongest throughout the whole weekend. Nobody can even match his pace at that particular corner. And ironically, that's exactly where he crashed. We already see this crash-prone habit from Marc since 2013, like I said earlier. We surely remember Mugello 2013, where his chin was even stitched. I don't know if it was stitched or not, but we could see like a clear scar on his chin because of that really fast crash at Mugello, at the backstrike of Mugello. Also 2013 Silverstone, let's not forget that. His bike almost crashed into Kyle Crutchlow. Kyle was having the crash first, and then Marc followed behind, and it was almost a disaster. 2014, of course, we can't forget Phillip Island 2014. We can't forget Aragon 2014, where he crashed while leading. 2015, oh my god, 2015 was such a disastrous season for Marquez. So many crashes in a row. Mugello 2015, Catalunya 2015. After that, Aragon 2015, Silverstone 2015, Sepang 2015. Well, Sepang 2015 was a controversial one, but again, you get the point. 2016, Le Mans 2016, where he had that tandem crash with Dovizioso. Argentine Grand Prix 2017, no warning whatsoever again. Second corner, he just crashed while running. I think it was in 4th place. And Dani Pedrosa, he also crashed like a few laps earlier. 2018 Mugello, he crashed again, like a really classic front end wash. 2019 Sepang at the, I think it was either an FP3 or an FP4. Also Austin 2019, Jerez 2020, Catalunya 2021. Like, the list goes on. So yeah, Marc being a crash-prone rider isn't something new at all. How is he getting more crash-prone? I think it has something to do with his experience in his final years with the HRC. I mean, he was riding such a monstrous of a bike, a really unrideable bike, and Marc being Marc, always trying to extract the full potential of a bike, ended up always crashing, and that more crash-prone behavior continues on in his Ducati stint this season. So yeah, I think that is the best explanation on how Marc is getting more and more crash-prone as the season goes. So since 2022, we all know that MotoGP has been having this chronic disease, chronic problem, and that is lack of overtakings. Let's just face it, compared to World SBK, MotoGP nowadays is just so lacking in overtaking. Why? One simple answer: aero devices. Why hasn't MotoGP banned this monstrosity? These aero devices, they make the bike so ugly. Fuck, I miss just like an old classic bike, like from the early 2000s, even from the early 2010s. Like, look at the shape of that 2013 RC213V. It's just so beautiful without any winglet. Look at the GP15 at the preseason testing before the first race at Qatar, at Losail, before the winglets were there. it's just so beautiful of a bike, a beautiful proper Grand Prix bike, and now it's just a monstrosity. Not only that makes the bike even uglier, it further affected the overtaking and the racing as a whole. Hyraxes exposed this problem, this chronic problem, even further, because even without the aero devices, Hyraxes has been so notorious for lack of overtakings. I mean, how many times do you remember Hyraxes being such a really breathtaking overtake circuit? Except for the 90s. Nothing, barely anything happened at Hyraxes. Even controversial overtakings happen here. Why? Because the track is too narrow. It's so difficult to overtake in this on this track, and add some aero devices on the bike, it's just becoming an F1 2.0. F1 right now is just so notorious for the lack of overtaking because of the aero, the dirty air, overheating tires when following other driver. And MotoGP, the race that I have just witnessed like a few hours ago, it's just like watching an F1 race, like barely any overtaking. Yes, that one lap aggressiveness from Pecco, that's what you get when you get all these aero devices. Overtaking doesn't seem that organic anymore. It's just like being forced. I can't really put it into words, but it's not as smooth as it used to be. Overtaking used to be like an art. It's like a work of art. How you apply the brakes, lay on the brake, and then apply the throttle. It's just so natural and organic. And now it just seems so forceful. Like you got the turbulence, the dirty air, it's just... Please MotoGP, please Dorna, please FIM, remove all of these aero things for the 2027 regulations. I read from on the 2027 regulation, it's just being reduced, not banned completely. Please just ban this thing. Me being a Ducati fan, I love how Ducati is being so innovative. Like they were the one who came up with this whole idea of winglets back in 2015. And honestly, and let's face it, these aero things, this is what made them the powerhouse they are now today. Yet, at the same time, I'm not really all in with these aero things. This is the exact same thing that caused all of this tire problem. The pressure, the overheating, the blah blah blah. It's killing racing. Okay, it's killing racing. Compare that to World SBK. World SBK does not have all of these complicated problems. That's why World SBK is just so much more attractive for me. It is pure motorsport and pure racing. I hope the FIM will consider to just ban this aero thing like completely for the 2027 regulation. And I think that's it that I can talk for this Spanish Grand Prix. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and maybe have some wild discussions, not a civilized one. Like and subscribe for more, and until we meet again.